Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday, and welcome to June. Welcome to Gothic 2. So, last time, I basically started falling asleep in my chair, and I decided to call the stream a little early. We didn't quite get to the Ice Dragon, but that's what we're going to get to today. In the meantime, I decided to do a run around and basically wiped out all the orcs around the perimeter of the castle for the XP. Yes, I am, Val. Very astute of you to notice. That was literally the most embarrassing thing I feel like I've ever done on YouTube or Twitch. I'm like vastly ashamed of that. Basically, for anyone who didn't get the memo, last night, third look at The Witcher 3, and I completely lost it. Like, I've never been that upset over a video game in my life. And I was very embarrassed by it.
So much for you.
Decided I'm going to try again fresh next week without that mod installed and see if maybe I'm just not doing the game justice. But, I don't know. That was just... Everybody knows me. I get pissed off. And sometimes, usually I can look at it afterwards and kind of have a laugh about it. There was nothing entertaining about what was going on. Hello, P-Tech. Anyway, this game, assuming Biff keeps himself together, should not piss me off as much as that did. Hello, Ore Baron. Good to see you. Also, I realized how badly I screwed up something. I mean, it's not horrible, but just, again, me being stupid. Since I used all of the stone tablets to get my bow skill up, there are no teachers that can teach me past 90. Not to mention, 90 to 100 costs 4 learning points.
So much for you, filthy beast.
That's weird, like, almost aggroed on meat bugs.
Alright. So much for you, filthy beast.
Nice. Hope you enjoy.
Alright. So much for you, filthy beast.
Oh, we'll go this way. Seeing as the entire perimeter is safe now, and the paladins could easily just evacuate. Oh, look at that. I mean, in my life, hundreds. For the sake of this stream, twice. Well, he hates everything. Everything I kill, whether or not he was aggroed on it, he says that about. Yeah, I'm gonna go this way. I think there's some more orcs to be had, and we'll approach Angar and his cave tomb from the other direction. Ooh, free arrow. Keeping up beef. We could go try once again. You know what? Actually, we might even have a chance of rescuing the paladins over here. I doubt it, but we'll give it a shot. Gotta speak with old Urshak anyway.
Alright. So much for you, filthy beast.
I mean, it was definitely hyperbole, but... Yeah, I mean, it's weird that I've actually become more critical of this game as time has gone on. Yet I still adore it, like, immensely.
Alright. So much for you, filth.
You finish it off. Ow! You finish it off. Hello, Vlad. Did I just drop an arrow?
Alright. So much for you, filthy.
Alright, so... Trouble is, I actually think saving these guys might be even harder with stuff like the DX11 mod, since it increases the view range, and not only the view range, but the range at which things start spawning in, and AI starts triggering, strangely enough. So basically, that means all the orcs are showing up in the
filthy beast.
mining camp well before we can do anything about it. Strangely, I'm actually surprised I have like 0 burnout going on right now. In fact, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is starting the game over completely. Not just for the vanilla stream.
Alright, so much for you,
for the
filthy
walkthrough.
beast.
Basically, yes. Actually, there's always stuff I forget to do. Oh, shut your mouth. Always stuff I forget to do my second run through the valley. Including... You know what? Maybe. Okay. We're lucky.
Alright.
We can kind of get
So
them
much
one
for
at a
you,
time
filthy
before
beast.
the paladins even spawn in. This game is something else. Okay, well, Fagith has already spawned in. The orcs haven't even. So if we're gonna keep him alive, we kind of need. Save over test. I don't even remember what I was testing there, but we need to move in fast like lightning. Got invisible orc, for crying out loud. The problem is they're all crowding. Yeah, see, that backfired tremendously because Tengran decided to run straight in the middle of it, and I kept hitting him. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Alright, so much for you, filthy beast.
It's made even worse by the fact that some of the orcs were just invisible for some reason. Again, everyone's getting in the way, so I can't do anything.
So much for you.
God damn it!
Less monster around.
Everyone just gets
low life.
Everyone just gets in the fucking way. Alright, whatever. So Tengran's dead. I'm gonna call that a relative success, but we'll try again. Definitely the most success I've ever had attempting this. He might have aggroed on him because I hit him. Yeah, it was weird that he called him a lowlife as he died. I wouldn't care if the nameless convicts died. I just want to keep all the NPCs alive. The named ones. I could just kill another one. And who's throwing frickin' fireballs? I can't hit him! He's in my fucking face! I can't hit him! What the fuck? God, that drives me nuts. No, they are just that strong. When you got that many just wailing on single NPCs, they go down quick. So when I'm right next to the Orc Elite, I cannot hit him. Get these ones while they're killing the convicts. Like, Tengran's already dead, for Christ's sake. I mean, he's dead before I even lay eyes on him. I don't think there's any saving him. I think Fagith... Actually, Fagith can probably hold a single orc, so if I just let him do that from here... Yeah, we're cheating the game a little bit, but that's... At least we got one out of the way. He's in my... Hit him! For goodness sake.
Alright.
I hit the fucking convict.
Send those beasts to kingdom come.
Alright, we did it. Oh, Bill got died. God damn.
Murderer.
They're smashing each other's skulls.
And now they're coming after me. All because I hit a convict. I don't usually get that fussy about it. But it's not like... This isn't something I have to, like, repeatedly do. You know, there are other exploits here. Let's see how much I can cheat this. Problem is, it seems like the rest of the orcs pop in at once. Get a little bit closer and they all just show up. But the other exploit is basically let them kill a couple, run away, and try and make sure the rest of them don't die. I think they're losing. Or we'll keep at this strategy and see what comes of it. No, they're all literally dead. They all just died. That one elite basically wiped them all out. No, I fucked up Bilgot because I didn't realize as a mercenary you can actually refuse to do the snapper quest, which meant that you never got to get Bilgot's advice to go after the snapper leader. And if you don't get that advice, you can't promise to get him out of here. Yeah, that's kind of an issue. I think they had some weird issues with the AI as a result of that, and so they completely got rid of it. In Gothic 2.
Well done. One dirty beast left.
Almost there, almost there. Excellent. Victory is ours. You really have to choose your shots carefully. And try not to hit the convicts because these idiots call you a murderer if there's any friendly fire.
Wait a minute.
Okay, nothing new to say.
How's you can see that?
Nothing new to say.
Nothing to be had.
These guys were literally meant to get wiped
Hey.
out, so they have no extra dialogue. If you save them. Yeah, well, my favorite thing is, like, my brother, I remember, lured the Black Troll into Corinthus once. And everybody got up to fight him, including, like, the women and, like, anybody who wasn't even armed.
We're surrounded by mon. I don't know how long.
You know, nothing new to say from any of
Hey,
them.
you.
At least I can do it damn difficult. Just to prove that I can do it, that's all. Like I said, they're meant to die. So being able to do that is very satisfying. Now I realize that this, save and reload just to deactivate the running potion. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's kind of like me trying to keep all the fucking allies alive in the hammer mine.
All
Really
right.
wasn't a point to it.
So much for you.
None of them were gonna do
filthy
anything.
beast.
But I just wanted to prove I could. The hell am I planking off of?
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Hope Biff doesn't go after this guy.
Krotak Javath!
Come again?
Wait! Me know you. You friend human with soft voice. Friend kill evil demon.
Baron, I have a separate monitor, so all of my Twitch dashboard is on one monitor with OBS taking up half the screen, Twitch browser taking up the other half. And then on my main monitor is just game.
You picked it. What?
You know, I never picked the option where I don't pretend to not recognize him. I always forget what he says.
Who?
Button.
Hushback.
Hushback. My heart.
Wait a minute.
Doesn't he usually stop you and say something else? I'm sure he does. He also becomes an orc warlord against us, so can't really be sympathetic. Good morning, Eddie. Or afternoon, wherever you are. I think I encountered Urshak in my first playthrough, but my first playthrough was years before I ever played Gothic 1, so I had no idea who he was supposed to be. I was very surprised to see a talking oak. Now you go ham down there. See how that works out for you. Alright, well, worked out pretty well. It is sad that, like, nothing comes of it, though. I think if they decided to do that twist where it turns out he was, you know, became a warlord of the orcs, invaders.
Alright, so much for you.
Something should have happened with it. And instead it was just, oh, well, that's sad. Like, doesn't he not even attack you? Even though he says, next time I see you, we're enemies? I'm sure they planned many things for Gothic 3 that did not happen. I also wonder if it was just something that kind of... Oh my god, I forgot how many snappers there were.
Alright, so much for you.
There's still many more filthy beasts! Oh, did the stream cut out again? It is Saturday. And well, at least it didn't cut for as long as usual. Normally it's a few minutes to come back. Anyway, P-Tac, what I was saying is the orcs here are not meant to be friendly, so they would have no reason to speak the common tongue. I think a lot of the native orcs were conscripted. So ones that never had much human contact to begin with were just wrangled up by the invading orcs. And the fact that even some of the orcish commanders...
So much for you, filthy
speak
beast.
incredibly broken English, I think it's just... Or in broken whatever language your localization is. Just something they end up retconning, which is kind of dumb.
Okay.
But I do like the fact that the orcs were much more of a sort of civilized race in the sequels to make them more consequential, I think. It is, but isn't that all we do when we play Gothic? Is just fill in the plot holes? I mean, fuck it. That's what people call lore in Dark Souls. Is just reading something and say, oh, I think that it does this, that, and that happened. And then acting like that's the goddamn truth.
Alright, so much for you, filthy beast. Alright, so much for you, filthy beast.
Hello, Black Secret. Well, so here's what I say. The orcs trying to not just... What is this sneaky bitch doing? The orcs trying to not... He just walked through the fence. The orcs trying to not just invade, but conquer the human
so much
kingdom.
For you, filthy beast.
It would make sense... Oh, I never cleared this cave. It would make sense that they learned the local language, because it would help in asserting their dominance over it. Humans had no need to learn, or no really opportunity to learn the Orcish language. Might have helped with things like,
Alright, so much for you,
learning their
beast.
correspondence so they could figure out what they were doing and shit like that. But I don't think it really... I don't think they had the chance to.
Alright, so much for you, filthy beast.
Because Biff, he is company. It's very lonely out here. Most of the people are dying. I need somebody to call everything a filthy beast while I'm walking around.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Hello.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
They're not autism. They just don't speak the language. The only orcs here who learn the language, other than the colonels, which again, those were kind of a retcon in my opinion. For the rest of it, it makes sense that they don't really know the language too well because they avoid human contact. Yeah, exactly. Like I said.
Nothing to plunder.
All right.
Just saying, it's very, very rude to assume they have a mental illness. Or disability.
Yeah, that's how you deal with those things.
Yeah, it's about time you hit something, beef. Well, since all these mine crawlers were here
All right.
the first run through, so unless you kind of worked hard to level up before getting here, you didn't really stand a chance against them. So I'm not surprised that most people kind of walked around this, especially with all the snappers outside. This is a terrible tax policy. It's give me everything you own because we're at war and I need it. You know, have you seen the state of the roads in Krinis's infrastructure plan? Is just awful. Isn't there a golem up here? Nope, it's a dragoon snapper. Oh no, there is a golem over there. Buzz. My sword went buzz. So yeah, I noticed a very clear bug
Nothing to be had there.
with the Claw of Beliar. Basically, for some reason, when enemies backpedal after they get hit, it's a guaranteed, like, guaranteed lightning strike. It seems like the more frames they have in the backpedal animation, they get hit for every single frame. It's very bizarre. But it makes taking out golems mad easy. And it seems like the rain might fuck with the lightning sound effects that go on here. We don't talk about Forsaken Gods. The Forsaken game. I didn't even like that though, or Baron. Because it was such a garbage sequence, because they made him a garbage character. He's just like sitting there in the middle of a cave in a chair, like weird voices going on. He's just like, "Shut up, Granddad's napping." Then goes around and kills shit. forget how we get over to this tower in this game. Oh, I guess it's just this way. I don't know why they had to completely change the landscape for things like this. I don't know. I mean, Forsaken Gods at least is just, like, so much cringe. That every once in a while I have, like, an aneurysm that sounds like a laugh. But Arcania was just so dull. It was one of the most dull games I've ever played. It's kind of like my biggest issue with it. Here I am. Ah, crap.
Fight.
Oh yeah, I forgot Biff doesn't fucking help with these things. Hello. Serpentine. Yeah. Damn you. Wabaga. P-Tech, you don't deserve that badge. I'm just kidding, you paid for it. No, it wasn't very good. It was loud. The concept was fine, I guess. They could have made it work. And it kind of was a funny sort of slap in the face to Zardos' whole plan. Because his whole plan was, if we remove the influence of the gods from the world, people will stop fighting each other. But all that happened was he turned, you know, one civil war into a two-way war into like a four-way war. So he just made it like twice as bad. That's what's kind of hilarious about it. But they just, it was awful because you would, you know, there would be a couple cities fortified by certain groups, and none of them would do anything. And every once in a while, like Thoris or Gorn would send you to go harass the other side for a little bit.
There he is.
Here I am. Watch out! That was a dick move. You were dead. Yeah. I mean... especially when you consider... Beef. Where are you going? Oh, oh my god, he's going straight up to the demon. Alright, whatever, you just chill there for a minute. Everything's kind of glitched here. You little shit. Yeah, I remember like the first time I played Forsaken Gods, I went to the shrine. I'm like, these things still work? What the fuck? The gods are supposed to be gone. Not to mention, 2 of the 3 are pissed off at you no matter which decision you made last time. Get out of my face. Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Here I am. You still having issues down there?
We shall get you.
Biff, you're done here. Chill out. There's like nothing else to fight here.
I'm starting to...
You didn't do shit to deserve it.
Alright.
Fucking asshole. You realize how many times I ran around this spiral staircase? I deserve 100 more gold. Yeah, but he doesn't fight the Seekers. So he would have no reason to aggro on them. It wasn't reduced. They didn't kill the gods, but they removed their influence completely from the world. So they're... Whoa! Hello. So the idea that people can still get favors from their shrines completely throws that idea, you know, in the ditch. The whole point is that their influence is completely gone. Their artifacts were used to destroy their connection with the world. And so, their influence should be non-existent, including their shrines. Basically, yeah. I mean, it's kind of the idea that God is dead when nobody believes in him anymore. Hello, another sneaker. It's funny how even the layout of Zardoz' tower changed to exclude the, you know, to add a spiral staircase in lieu of the teleporter and the ladder. Well, no, the Arcania basically said, oh, the gods were actually goddesses and, you know, they never left in the first place, so, you know, fuck everything. Fuck continuity. Fuck sense. I mean, didn't they end up basically saying that Innos and Beliar are two faces of the same goddess? It was a gender swap and, you know, multiple split personality bullshit. Sweet, another demon scroll. If that's what they really said... I mean, again, I haven't played that game since it came out. So, if they actually said Adnos with a split personality and a gender swap, then just the idea they came up with, they're like, oh, they're never going to see this twist coming. Yeah, no shit, because that makes no fucking sense. Biff. Stairs, they're not that difficult. You just ran back to the top, for Christ's sake. Hello, Boglin. I have to stay to the outside to try and get him to stay with me. Again, you know, people assume they know who and what the gods are. So the idea that the gods are actually female is kind of like I always interpret gods as being genderless anyway. You know, I can't imagine God up in the sky just swinging his dong around after a shower. So what does it matter what their sort of perceived genders are? I don't think it's really relevant to their significant... Fucking Biff just ran away. God fucking damn it. Oh, fuck it. I'm starting from the castle. This idiot is not going to follow me down the stairs. That's how Biff is today, Boglin. Yeah, I mean, all of the lore says they're brothers, they refer to them as he's, and all that shit, so...
You really believe that?
Turning that around in the fourth game literally only exists to be a twist. Like, there's no foundation for any of that in the story. They just wanted it to be different.
That's not what I heard.
Nobody ever asks for my opinion.
I think this way is actually a little bit quicker than the run around I did last time. Yeah, Biff has... all NPCs have trouble with the spiral staircases. So they're trying to go in a straight line towards you, but changing the vertical direction just makes them confused even more. So Biff just kept running back up the stairs when he's trying to get to me. Right, but I'm just saying, what Do you think the Seekers basically summon demons to rebuild the tower for them? To their convenience? But yeah, that was underwhelming. Meaning Zardos was underwhelming because he showed up for a minute. And then... what else was there? Lord Hagen showed up, and for some reason he was a giant, like, 8-foot-tall Russian dude. It's kind of like meeting the hero in Risen 3. He just showed up in the middle of a fucking volcanic island, sitting on a rock drinking rum. And then you hang out for a bit and he just fucking vanishes. I never got to finish looting the tower. We gotta go back. Suppose I should have just finished that up before teleporting back. Yeah, that drove me nuts. And then, like, I think Snaff showed up in the game as the king's, like, personal cook. And he was this skinny, like, just, I don't know, overwhelmingly British dude with, like, a handlebar mustache. And they called him Snoff. It is just a retcon, because the whole point is once he was able to get out of the valley, he got out of the valley, built his tower on the outskirts in the wilderness of Corinus, and then brought us back there. So he knew that shit was going to go down here real quick, so he didn't want to stick around, get my weak, sorry ass back to life out here, and then have to try and escape. So he made good his escape and then restored me out there. I don't know, what textures did it have? Wasn't it like a brown brick, not a black brick? Black brick. Should be able to level up the Clow while I'm here. Oh, the sunken one. Yeah, in Gothic 2, you can't even, like, swim in that inside part. I always forget that for some reason the HUD doesn't show up there. Alright, so now we got the good stuff. Yeah, well, the whole reason he had to abandon it is because of earthquakes. So I guess the earthquakes finally sealed the cave completely. Tessellation caused by... what the hell's the, tectonic plates? I prefer Valley of Mines just because it makes sense that that's what they would call it. It's a valley where there were a lot of mines. It's just weird to me that that phrase only came up in the second game. You know, in the first game they just called it the colony, or the prison colony, or the mining colony. Only in the second game does they decide to start referring to it as the Valley of Mines. But I think it's a more distinctive name. Mountain Valley, that's just kind of plain. Like every mountainous region in the world has a mountain valley. I guess my kind of thought process is, what did... when Zardos got kicked out of, or just left the old camp because of his unpopular research into the dark arts. So, did he already have the ability to summon demon contractors at that point to build his first tower. Oh shit, we left orcs.
All right. So much for
Could've
you,
sworn I had
filthy
killed these
beast.
fools.
All
Wait,
right.
seriously?
So much for you, filthy beast.
I swear we had gone through this area. I killed all these. Oh, get out of my face.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Nothing to plunder.
Full library and a monastery. Well, yeah, we're gonna get to see that probably today. Biff, walk around.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Filthy feast. What the hell? I swear we came through here.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Not this weekend, Boglin. I tried it last night. Did not go well. I decided I'm gonna reinstall it without that mod.
All right.
And then
So
we'll try
much
again
for
next
you,
week.
filthy beast.
Oh yeah. Oh, you like that strafe action. I don't understand. I must have just
All
reloaded
right.
a save
So much for you,
prior
filthy
to me
beast.
killing all these. I know we went through this at the end of the last
All
stream.
right. All right. So much for you.
Yeah, I deleted them. I mean, that was
Nothing
like
to plunder.
I was legitimately embarrassed about the stream last night, so I just got rid of it. I mean, it was to the I was like so frustrated to the point that like I was actually like trembling, and that's never happened to me before. And it feels wrong because I cannot imagine that a game was deliberately designed so that it frustrated me that much. So I have to assume that I just messed with it too much, trying
All
to do that so-called
so
enhanced
much for
edition.
you, filthy beast.
Despite its supposed improvements to everything, I think it just made it a lot worse. And anyone who enjoys it probably just loathes the additional challenge, but they're already used to the game mechanics. So here's the thing. I think it basically did, because I made a similar mistake in The Witcher 2, installing a sort of rebalance mod. This one was a huge mechanical overhaul to everything about the game. It was supposed to make it better, more realistic, more kind of reliable. What I think happened is it just changed too much, and it was meant for people who'd already played The Witcher 3 and were experienced with it and could recognize the changes and actually learn them. It was just overwhelming for me at first. I don't think I was giving the game a fair shot, because essentially what the mod did was exacerbate problems that were already in the game. They're not always complete shit. It's just they get carried away, do way too much, and the whole point is they want to increase the challenge, make it unfamiliar to people who have already played it enough times and are experienced with it. So what I end up with is a game I don't recognize that's made for way more veteran players than me.
All right. So much.
Nothing there.
Krotok! I learned you there when Hushback killed. You make big mistakes, stranger.
I see you have taken his place here. You've been stringing me along. Your position with your people is higher than you wanted to admit. Now you're nothing but a tool of evil yourself.
Stranger, right.
Yeah, you're just a big whiny bitch. I don't recognize you anymore. Basically, I mean, doesn't help that, like, there's so many little things about it. Like, honestly, the biggest thing that pissed me off was last night when I was just going against the same sequence again and again and again because I had to keep reloading. The fact that I could not save in that sequence, it was just like if you watch my Witcher 2 3 playthrough on YouTube, going through the battlefield section in the second chapter, where during the whole sequence, you cannot save the entire time. So if you die at the very end of it, you have to start completely over. And it's the same thing. There are 3 back-to-back fights with no ability to rest or save or anything in between them. And on top of that, I had to skip through the whole cutscene over and over and over again, because it only lets you skip cutscenes 1 line at a time. So, like, if I hadn't deleted the VOD, what you would find is just me literally just going on the spacebar, like about to break my fucking keyboard, because I have to skip through the fucking cutscene every fucking time I died. Just, things add up to make me so pissed off. I could get used to the difficulty of the game if I wasn't forced to endure so much frustration just to get back to it. It was kind of like at the end of Sekiro, when I had to keep fighting the same little mini-boss before the actual final boss over and over and over again. If that wasn't there, I would have been so much more patient with it. Anyway. Right, but I get mad at virtually every video game. What is different is there was no enjoyment left to be had at that. Like, looking back at it, most of the time when I get like a rage moment in a game, I can look back at it and kind of laugh about it. That was not to be had here. I was like ashamed of that. Let's do a gamble here. Yeah, well, the Witcher 2 one, I think my biggest mistake was installing it after I'd already started the game. So what it did was completely fucked up my stats and messed with things so that I was basically dying in 2 hits to no matter what I was fighting. I ended up uninstalling it right as I got to the final chapter. And the rest of the game was so much simpler because of it. But the problem is, like I said, it makes the built-in problems of the game even worse. So what I was dealing with were situations like when I was fighting the Draugr at the end of the second chapter. I was getting hit before the cutscene even ended and dying in 1 shot. It was the same thing fighting Letho for the first time. I was getting hit while Geralt was stuck after the cutscene in his drawing his sword animation while the enemy was already attacking me, and I could not get away. I could not defend myself, I could not get away, couldn't do anything until Geralt drew his sword. By that point, he had already taken a hit. And that just frustrating beyond all fucking reason.
Nothing to plunder.
Yeah, I know the stories are good. It's just weird how the author is like a massive dick to anybody who actually enjoyed the games. Hello, AOC. Was that skeleton bleeding on his way over here? Can't even see the frickin' door. Well, that's the thing. He's actually working with the Netflix producers to make that series. So I think he's alright with it. Especially since it's not going to be a sequel to his stories. It's actually going to be...
All right.
It's
So
going to
much
be
for
the same
you,
story.
filthy beast.
Oh, he's no longer working with him? Then yeah, he's probably going to be real
All
pissed.
right. So much for you, filthy beast.
You know what I was waiting to see, which unfortunately sounds like it might just be completely canceled? The Metro 2033 movie.
All right.
Because from what I understand,
so much for you, filthy beast.
the author basically pulled out
Alright.
of the deal because they kept trying to change the story on him. Like they're trying to make it based in Washington, D.C. or some bullshit. Which is a shame because that would have been a great story. I also remember... Here I am. In,
A fight.
like way back in like 2000... Owie!
That hurt.
Way back in like 2003 or 4, I think they're gonna make a Deus Ex movie. Before Invisible War even came out. Well, it was another one of those where they were trying to do their own story in the setting. And I think like J.C. Denton wasn't even gonna be like a main character. Problem is, anytime somebody has a good idea for like a game that would make a good movie, they ruin it because they want to make it different. The only like remotely like fractionally decent video game movie I can think of was the first Silent Hill movie. And everything else has just been god awful, especially because they love to let Uwe Boll direct them. You frickin' pig. Also, another thing I learned,
All right. So much for you.
since the
filthy
Boers
beast.
basically use the wolf movement and AI, they actually, if there are boars and wolves next to each other, you aggro one, you aggro the boars or the other as well. Games have I played that were considered closest to Gothic 1 and 2? Good question. Very good question. It's hard to really think of one. I mean, AOC, that's not even fair. It's the same producer, basically just remaking the same game. I don't really know. Hard to say. There are games that I would, like, think of, or, like, games that I would think of Gothic while I was playing them. Like, I remember the first Fable, but they weren't actually that similar.
All right. So much for you, filthy.
Yeah, it's really hard to think of any.
Hey, you!
Yeah, I'll muse on it.
Is you? What?
Yeah, the
Oh, not an RPG, but kind of... I don't know, it gave me a similar vibe. But it was more complex, but also less RPG-like. Was Severance, Light of Darkness. But unfortunately, you can't buy that anymore, because for some reason, they pulled it from GOG. Oh, hello, Caprice. Nice to see you. It's been a while.
All right.
No,
So much for you,
You
filthy
idiot.
beast.
Don't get iced. I don't worry to go over there, do I? You go steal aggro. Alright, nicely done.
only death and destruction. I must get out of here.
Yeah, there's something weird about him. I remember I used to have issues getting him to show up here. Like, after I met him in the castle. I think, yeah, actually, no, I remember I used to meet him...
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, shit, Caprice. What the hell are you doing? Thanks for subscribing. That makes you number 2. Hello, Jasper. Let us just sneak in here. Hold the key, the hero will hold weapon or spell half equipped. I know, well, that's only if you have the Gothic 1 controls on. Yeah, enjoy it. I don't understand why anyone would pay money for this channel. Also, enjoy your nice, shiny sleeper badge. That I'm probably gonna get whacked with copyright violations for. Oh, there you are. Didn't even see you. You blend in.
Hey,
Look at me doing a dance.
I found your amulet.
Thank you. I thought I would never see it again.
What?
Get out of this accursed perhaps.
Wait a minute.
Alright, well. Have a safe trip. So I've wanted to give you guys some news that I'm, like, for some reason been really hesitant to say. But I think at this point, safe to say it without jinxing it, but basically, it probably won't affect the channel too much, but I've been in, since like back in November, I've been in the market to like buy a house. I'm finally like close to closing on one, and it's very stressful. No. I mean, or Baron, that shouldn't matter anyway. But, yeah, I'm trying.
Right.
I'm about
So
to
much
buy a
for
house.
you,
Basically, at the
filthy
end of this
beast.
month, I'm gonna be moving into a new house, and I will own it. I won't be a renter anymore. It's exciting, but I'm also like shitting bricks because it's a huge financial, you know, risk, as it were. But I'm gonna be renting rooms, so it's not gonna be horrible. But I also went for a much more expensive house than I really planned on when I started looking. Yeah, I hope so too. It's a nice house. The best part is it's got like a really nice like finished basement. And it's got a full bathroom down there. And all this kind of stuff, so I can basically practically live down there in my little studio. But still have a bedroom upstairs. It's gonna be awesome. There are 3 bedrooms. They're not huge, but they're fine. Got like a living room, a nice like family room with sliding glass door out to a deck. The only thing I would really want to work on after I moved in would be the kitchen, and all that really needs to be done there. I'd want new countertops because all the appliances are new. I would have to like fix up the cabinets, but I don't think I would need to replace them. But it's gonna be awesome, especially because it's a gas stove, which I've never cooked on in my life, and I'm really excited to do that for the first time. I am excited. But yeah, so basically, the weekend of like June 29th, don't expect any streams because I'm gonna be moving everything. Because basically, I closed on the house 2 days before I got to move out of this apartment, so I'm gonna have 2 days just to haul ass and get shit out of here. I don't think you can cook meth on a gas stove. I feel like that would ruin it, but what do I know? Go ask Heisenberg. Well, let's get you healed up. I don't really have much of a beard to burn off anyway. My hair is long enough to be a danger. I mean, I got a buddy who would probably loan his truck, but he just moved in too, and I wouldn't ask him. But my current roommate's gonna be moving in with us anyway. The main thing is we're not keeping a whole lot of the furniture from here, especially the big stuff like the sofa and living room furniture, because most of that's like ratty and beat up anyway. Yeah, the last time I moved out was like almost 4 years ago, so. Alright, well, got dragoons.
All right.
All right.
So much for you, filthy beast.
Still 2 more filthy beasts. You filthy beef.
Yeah,
That's how you deal with those things.
Really no basis for that theory, Orban, but, you know, that's an interesting one. They are gross and lanky, like they've been mutated. Thank you, Leighton. And nice of you to sneak in here like that. Oh god. That's another. God! Are you fucking kidding me?
Nothing to be had there.
Bloody hounds. What's your job? Got plenty of those. I'm gonna save those. I didn't hate Elex, so yeah, I still have like an ounce of hope. I'm hoping mainly that them being bought out by THQ Nordic means there's gonna be like stronger investment in them. And that Elex 2 will just have a better budget. They've been kind of like snarky about it and making it pretty clear that Elex 2 is definitely what's coming next. So there's no real question there. It's gonna be Elex 2. I just hope that they work out the bugs.
All right.
We don't end up
So
with
much for you,
like
filthy
skills that
beast.
don't work and shit like that. Don't have patches just to undo things that other patches did. Yeah, no, Litton, you're, you know, kind of like the silent supporter. I got no problem with lurkers. Speaking of lurkers, though, there's always these weird bots. I assume they're bots because they're like, they never say anything. And they, like, when I click on their names, they have like millions of like followers, but they don't do anything. They just sit in my chat and like their names just show up in the viewer list, and that's it. Weird.
I'm starting. I want.
All right.
I should.
Yeah, I mean, Elex, really something to get, you know, get into. Oh my goodness! Quit punching! Thank goodness for this broke-ass sword. So yeah, if you have the Eye of the Claw Beliar in sword form, golems are a complete joke. Yeah, I want something that stands out, not something that, like, okay, you checked 70% of the boxes, so you've got character, but you're roughly average. And the funny thing is, I would actually say, as exotic as Elex was meant to be, I would almost say that Risen 3 had a lot more character. Like, somehow it's just more recognizable.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast. All right. So much for you, filthy.
Yes, Ore Baron. Ore Dragon, Ice Dragon is the last. Oh my god, can you imagine an Ore Dragon? Ice Dragon is the last one we gotta kill. I know, Leighton. It's just, like, thinking of people lurking in the chat just made me think of the fact that there's just these random bots that just hang out and don't do anything. They're just there. Like, why would somebody generate a bot just to add one to random channel viewer counts?
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Yeah, or Titan. I remember that. Another one of their worst gimmick fights. Like, walk around in a circle and throw chains at it. What was the point of that? Are you king of the mountain now? I didn't think the clerics were that exciting. I mean, even if you're an outlaw, you could still use their energy weapons, and those were the most OP things in the game. No, that was the Fire Titan, Caprice.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
The weird thing to me about the Ore Titan is that Ore wasn't even a thing in Risen 3. It was almost like they meant to call it the Crystal Titan, since crystals were a thing. But then somebody wrote the wrong thing in the script. Yeah, I mean, the clerics look a little stormtrooper-y. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, like I said, any faction could use their guns, so it's not like you had to be a cleric to use a plasma rifle. The plasma rifle was like by far the best gun in the game. Bitch. I don't really blame you, AOC. I mean, I enjoyed it because I was able to, like, look under the rather dull veneer of it and see the strokes of brilliance in things like some of the layered quests and stuff like that. I just can't believe that after all these years, they just keep backpedaling and trying to redo their whole melee combat design. And just starting from scratch has never worked for them. They're at their best when they kind of continue to flesh it out. Because Risen was a decent advancement of Gothic 3. And then Risen 2, they tried to basically do like Assassin's Creed combat. It was awful. Risen 3 was slightly better. And then Elex, they decided to try it all over again. And made one of their worst ones yet. Agreed, Orbaron. Actually, Risen, I would say, is the most like that Severance game I mentioned. Difference is, Severance was way more based on movement to do different attacks. It was all like button combinations. But it's kind of the same thing like Risen had different attacks depending on like the way you were moving, but none of them really mattered that much. Yeah, agreed. They should have just kept going with Risen 1's combat. Just redeveloping it, making new kinds of attacks with different, like, you know, strafing attacks were different. You had, like, thrust and, like, jump attacks and stuff. And just new combos, new parry strategies. All that kind of stuff. But instead, they were like, nah, people are playing Assassin's Creed. Just do that with a, one button, parry, kill them. And that kind of nonsense. I think I already talked to these dudes. Oh, no, I didn't.
Don't. Not. They. If you. Come. If you. Then.
Let me do a damn difficult. Oh, yeah.
Your path is clear. Your ice giants are no more. Good work. We'll just all in.
That's fine. I already got my payment from you. I
Wait
think
a
that's
minute.
the single biggest pickpocket in the game is robbing Silvio.
What's the...
So damn cold here. Two Zweihanders. It was another one of those. Severance was another one of those where it's just kind of like there wasn't a lot of story told. There were just like random bits of exposition, and the story was basically just Big Bad is trying to get awesome artifact to do terrible thing, and then your goal was to get awesome artifact first to kill the Big Bad. But it was cool. The combat was a lot of fun. It was hard as hell. The only problem I had was basically the 4 characters you could choose from were wildly, like, differently balanced. No, it's there. It's not just buried in item descriptions. It's just, it's very simple. Like, there's no real deep meaning to it or anything. How do I brighten this shit up? Now everything just looks still white.
All right. So much for you, filthy
Yeah, the
beast.
wolf. Suppose for once we might actually clear out this little lake here.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Oh, no, you don't. Okay. Oh, wow, you went and killed that thing. Don't throw it, don't throw it. Shocking. What scroll is this? Ooh. Dauntless. I have heard of it. I've never looked into it.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast. All right. So much for you, filthy...
Oh, come on, then. Take that, dork. There. Took care of it for you, beef.
That's how you deal with those things.
Yeah, you shoot them. You don't just stand there looking at them. I don't think you can hit these with arrows, can you? And slap chop. Don't you dare! I wonder where in the game Exoplanet. Yeah, I've streamed Exoplanet a few times. I actually want to try it again because they've had a few updates since the last time I did it, and I think they fleshed out some of the opening areas. I might give that another stream in the near future. I wish I could just tell Biff to wait, because I know he has so much trouble, like, following me in here. I'll give it a shot sometime soon. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's an indie game. Jesus fucking Christ. An indie game, sci-fi sort of RPG. It's, unfortunately, I'm really hoping that the RPG mechanics kind of balance it out, because another one of those where just everything from the combat to the exploration is like really basic. So, combat is just run around. You got basically melee weapons are just single swing, right click, left click. Shut the fuck up, Biff!
Okay.
The range combat is about as basic as Elex. I just really hope that the RPG stuff makes up for it. All right, there we go. No, Biff hasn't fucked anything up yet. Thankfully. I mean, I did have to teleport out of Zardas's old tower because he wouldn't come down the stairs with me. That would be dreadful. I would throw them both overboard. They'd be most useful as anchors. To make sure my ship didn't sail away. Even then, they would fuck that up. They're too soft-headed to hang on to the rocks. Woof, woof, woof. Snarly, snarly. Damn.
All right. So much...
I hate the fact that I always seem to end up in these places at nighttime. Whack it out! Jesus, stop striking. My God. Yeah, Eardareth, Eardaroth. And there's just too many R's. I think Mud should be like Mud should have been like the high dark magician that you meet at the end, with Bullet being the reincarnation of the Sleeper as the undead dragon.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Bows just break this game. I so seldom use bows, I always forget that. That wasn't really a fan theory. I think they didn't the actor actually said like they were playing Jar Jar to be kind of something of a traitor, and that was realized only somewhat by him basically kind of convincing the Senate to hand over their authority to Palpatine. God damn it, Biff. I'm sure I've beaten it more than once as a paladin, but it's the one I always end up doing the least. I think Dragon Hunter's only slightly more, and I usually do Mage. I'm pretty sure that's except. Oh my God! Ow. Ow. Pretty sure Caprice that's just accepted as the reality of it at this point. Biff, stop backing up! Just hit it! Damn, look at that bob and weave. I'm pretty sure even Mike Hoga actually just kind of came out straight up and said, yeah, that's what the undead dragon is. The fuck? What the hell was that? Are you a goblin all of a sudden? The Soul Stone just basically got forgotten, I think.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
I think they just kind of... God, there's invisible golem. It's kind of like left the idea behind because of reasons. Don't you blast me. Well? Jesus. I am sorry for your ears. Did it? I know the Eye of Innos did. I don't remember what the Soul Stone did.
So much for you, filth.
See, Biff isn't all that useless. He does do a lot of damage. He's just so... His AI is just so lousy against the enemies here. Because all of them have a tendency to, like, do the backpedal. And you can get, like, enemies in loops. Like, NPCs in loops of just backpedaling away from each other. Every time they run up to each other, they do the backpedal. This part is where Biff really fucks up, because he has a tendency, as soon as you aggro something, he runs in there and gets everything pissed off at him. Raven wasn't even, like, a threat. I mean, bows, like I said, are just so broken in this game for some reason. I so seldom use them, I always forget how, like, just ridiculous they are. Especially considering when you have the maxed out ability, you can start hitting enemies from a range where other AI doesn't even aggro.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast. All right. So much for you, filthy.
Might have ended too strong because he had the claw. What do you mean? Well, here's the thing, is since Raven... no enemies in this game scale with your level. So I always end up going to Jarkandar in Chapter 3 when I'm much better.
So much for you, filthy beast.
As a result, most of it just kind of ends up being a cakewalk.
So much for you, filthy beast.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's all the bandit camps kind of have to happen much sooner than we have to go to Jarkandar.
Really?
So that kind of messes with the balance
So much
of
for
everything.
you, All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
Right, so Clever Eye decided not to waste this spell on the Stone Dragon. Means we have nothing to worry about here. Didn't you need to bring Beef along? Only problem is he's probably going to attack it before the thing stops, which means this dragon's still going to stay at full strength. So that it's broken like that. Blah, 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 blah. This little bitch.
Yeah, that's how you deal with those things.
The mighty ice dragon is vanquished. I didn't care for the pirate island, all that, or the pirate camp, as much as the rest of Jarkandar. You know what that reminds me of in Dragon's Dogma? There's like a special arrow you can only get one of in the game, and it's a guaranteed one-hit kill no matter what you hit with it. And that includes the final dragon boss. So there's this whole scene where you have like the epic like stare down. He tells you, what is your choice? Are you gonna fight me or are you gonna run like a coward? And before like the actual fight is even supposed to start, you can just straight up shoot him with that one-hit kill arrow and game over. I mean, it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I like the rest of Jarkandar better. I like the swamp. I like the valleys. I like kind of the high point of the central temple. The canyon maybe is a little boring, but still pretty cool. Yeah, it's a chill place. I just think, not as awe-inspiring as the rest of it. Up, up, up. Yeah, I guess we are two different folks. I just like the swamp that it was actually, you know, a respectable swamp. Like the Swamp Dragon one and this one, not so much. The swamp in the first game was cool. It was just kind of very flat. Oh, you idiots really should have been there to defend your master. Well done, Beef. Well, that's what I kind of like about it. Oh, these idiots are actually doing something. Look at that.
All right. So much for you, filthy beast.
So much for you, filthy beast.
Too bad they didn't get there in time. I should actually let the freaking lizard man soften them up. Oh well, we will deal with that. You know what? I'm a cheat here. Let Bulko walk away. I'd also try that. No way, Bulko won't get here in time to defend his man whose ass he always kisses.
The ice dragon is dead. And now give me everything you have on you.
Like
No
hell I
way in
will.
hell.
It's me who's going to be famous for slaying the ice dragon. Your small role in this matter is over.
Small roll. I'll give you a small fucking roll. Oh wow. I didn't think Biff actually helped in that fight. Well, if I kill Bulko, I don't much care. There we go. Don't you fucking ass.
You
Biff,
poor
you
sucker.
fucking ass.
You didn't even have any gold on you. I think I'd better take this weapon.
Well, at least you didn't actually take anything. Broken ass sword.
I'm starting to...
I can't afford you.
Then you can just do your crap alone from now on.
Wait a minute. That's it. All the dragons are dead.
Yeah, and I'm still standing.
Oh,
Are you
Fair
sure
and
that
Keep
was the
doesn't even
last one?
qualify.
That's
That was
too
awful.
bad.
That was like one of the worst swamp levels ever. But, yeah, I personally don't think Risen 1 and 2 are connected, like, story-wise. Risen was obviously inspired by the end of Gothic 3. That's about it.
You're in.
Thanks. I didn't kill him. I just knocked him down to get my money back. We killed the ice dragon, Lytton, and that's about it. And then we killed old Silvio. Not cheating. Game lets me do it. Now, if they knock me down, they take all my gold.
I'm no better off myself.
Why haven't I heard that from you?
Who thinks it's as easy as that?
I've ripped the. I went that.
All the dragons are died.
All. The, no. We're, yeah.
Your decision, wasn't it?
Hot. Great.
God, I never got rewarded for that, or never turned it in.
Where did you pick that up then? Do you really think I didn't know that? I could have
You
told
mustn't believe everything you hear.
I've killed all the dragons.
Mustn't believe
So
everything
what?
you hear.
Aren't you one? I already told.
Do you really believe that?
I would have, but I can.
You mustn't believe
What?
everything
Nothing
you
that I-
hear.
That's all.
Alright, well, we're done here.
Hey, you.
This guy, so antsy to get his dragon trophies, never left in time to kill a single one of them. So what? Watermelon smoothie sounds delish. Still annoys me that this guy has the key to get in there and we cannot pickpocket him for some reason.
Sh-
Alright, take all this junk from my trunk. We'll give that back to Beef at some point. Because I forgot I was intending to take him with us to Eardarath this time around. How did I get that much dragon blood? I didn't think I learned how to take dragon blood. Did I? Well, I can't beat him up. Because then everyone will attack me. I think he wanted to get away from making music for a living, so he founded a company, I think it was called Navigo or Navigo. They were like software developers of some kind. And eventually he decided he wanted to make music again, so he ran a Kickstarter to produce an album that still has not come out, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago. He started doing music for other projects, other like indie games, and has kind of disappeared. He started doing live streams for a while. He's like live streaming a couple times a week, and now he doesn't even do that anymore. I think the problem was he owned the company, and when he basically resigned from it to work on music again full-time, I'm assuming he kind of underestimated how much of a financial blow that would be to him. Because being like a president of a company and going back to freelance composing for indie games, it's got to be a massive upheaval to your financial situation, especially since he has 3 kids now. See, I did not mind Dynamedian's work in Risen 2 and 3. My problem is that Elex was like their most boring soundtrack so far, because that was 100% composed by Bjorn Pankratz. And not that he's a bad composer, I just don't think he's very creative. Now we have fresh new things to kill. Yes. Bjorn actually, he's on the credits for the soundtrack for Gothic 1, if we can believe it. I wouldn't say they degraded. The problem is they're a small studio that refused to expand, probably because they can't afford to. So all of their games are trying to compete with larger, like AAA RPGs. And they just don't stand a chance because they do not have the budget or the manpower. So they really kind of, I feel like they should break up as Piranha Bytes and just become like an independent studio and start making smaller games. It's like their only chance to make any kind of like breakthrough.
I don't believe this is gonna change. I never knew that.
But at the same time, I don't want them to stop,
You already know what I think.
you know, trying to succeed as an RPG developer.
I knew that all along. I wouldn't have done that.
How's it?
Why did you pick that?
Yeah, stop trying to break the mold.
That's really
Just
not my problem.
fit in a box and never leave it.
As if I didn't have enough problems. You have to step in and sort things out.
Is it really true?
Well, now people, of course, are asking, like, now that THQ Nordic owns Piranha Bytes, they own the Gothic IP completely, not just publishing rights. So people are asking, are you gonna contract another studio to make future Gothic games? I cannot think of a single developer I'd want to make one, though.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
Do I not have Shadow Beast horns?
Known a long time.
Thought I had a couple.
You don't have to tell me that.
But I don't know. Joe Wood was weird. You'll notice a lot of their games kind of fell apart because they rushed development on them so much. I know Gothic 3 wasn't totally their fault, because Piranha Bytes' vision would not have been that great anyway.
Do you really?
But they had other games that all just kind of fell apart because they were trying to get them done too early.
I that myself.
You listen to the wrong people.
Well,
Couldn't get away.
they are still responding on the German forums. Jenny just responded to a series of questions the other day
Hey,
on the World of Elex forums. They let their own forum die, though.
If he
Like, that thing's been broken for years now.
I couldn't get away with that.
Is it really true?
He simply
I just feel like they're just not the studio they were because so few of them from the olden days are still left. And the ones that are just kind of being very quiet about it. They weren't anything significant. Like, I don't know, I ask them about their design philosophy for, like, certain quests and stuff, and I don't know, when can we expect an announcement of some kind, and just the usual vague answers, like, no, nothing even worth theorizing about. I'm hoping by Gamescom they'll have something to say.
You listen to the wrong people.
I've got a few
Here's your
Genuine.
all over again.
Is there anything you can do with dragon eggs?
Dragon eggs? How the heck did you come by these?
Like killer
I took them
dragons.
from some lizard people.
Let me see. Very sturdy material. Ideal for finishing armor. If one can manage to get them open, that is.
What about it then? Do you want it?
Sure, give it here. I'll pay you, say, 300 gold coins for each egg you can bring me.
These are dragon eggs, not paltry chicken eggs.
All right, 350 it is, but I can't give you more than that, or it just won't pay for me.
Deal.
It's a deal.
All right, then keep those things coming if you can get them. You say you took it from the lizard people?
Right.
Most lizard people dwell in caves, as far as I know. It wouldn't surprise me if you found more of these things in the caves around here. Here, take this map. It'll help you find the caves.
Wait. So here's the thing about Piranha It's not... that tree's turning to liquid. It's not about the fact that we're sort of condoning bad habits. It's they don't listen to fan suggestions that well. They have a tendency, when they decide what they're going to do, they just keep trying to defend it, even as people kind of criticize it. That's just always been the way they've behaved. So I don't think it's got anything to do with us just not holding them to the fire. It's that they choose to ignore the fire. I don't know. They've never encountered lizard people before, and already Bennett apparently knows their, like, habitats. But regardless, we've cleared out all the caves, so all we have to go there for now are the dragon folk.
You have to step in.
Are you relaxed?
Sure, why not? The dragons are dead, aren't they?
The case is a little more complicated.
Well, like always. Let me know when you need my axe.
Oh, we'll summon your axe soon. Love how we can just continually rob Goran because he never suspects us.
I can show you, but I don't. As soon as you...
I don't need to learn two-handers.
Well,
Only the best.
You didn't know that. You listened to the
Don't say you didn't know that.
He insisted he knew better. Is it really true? I never knew that.
He knew that all
I agree
along.
with you completely.
So I think we still need
Me anymore. You hardly know who to believe.
dragon eggs. We can still bring one to guy who do the guy in the monastery, Ocean Man.
teach
Near-ass. I think he can still make us a dragon egg potion.
Nothing amazes me anymore.
You've become.
I'm not telling you anything new.
That's always been animations have always been one of their weak spots.
Those if in the
Nobody will learn anything.
And unfortunately, in Elex, they decided what they're gonna do.
you've become.
Oh, it already went to 15? Oh, that's why I was looking at the wrong stat. Perfect. In Elex, they decided not to do motion capture for anything. To save money.
That's
And they were defending it by saying they think they can do it better than motion capture can. And they cannot, because Elex was so the lack of motion capture just made the clunkiness of the combat seem much more apparent. Yeah, I don't remember if we get XP for giving Bennett the potions, the eggs. We might as well keep them and see if we can get a second Imbarla Fergasto. Right, and if it was a more indie-ish game, I think people would have more sympathy for it. But they're not indie games. They're being marketed on the same playing field as, you know, the Elder Scrolls and BioWare games and all that kind of shit. Well, where are the eggs? Aren't the eggs just supposed to be like strewn about?
Nothing to be had there.
There ain't no eggs.
Nothing to plunder. Nothing to be had there.
Did this cave just not have eggs? Why ain't they got eggs? Lieutenant Dan got no eggs. And we gotta do, Anubis. You know what I should do? Is get the frickin', you know, with the thing. Get the heavy dragon hunter armor first.
Hey,
Do your dance.
I killed all the...
If you, do you really think? Can't rely on
Honestly,
Why haven't I heard about
their console ports have always been so lousy that I don't even think it's worth it to them. They really should, at this point, almost stick to PC exclusives. And for some reason, the wet surfaces have kind of gone nuts. I'm gonna relaunch the game just to get that taken care of. Stand by. That was me in Gorn, or Baron. I remember the cave near the Circle of the Sun, before they put that little tunnel in there, hidden behind the boulder. NPCs would just show up there randomly. So I found Gorn there when he disappeared to the valley, and I was just like, why did Gorn die? What was he doing here and all this stuff? I'm like, could I have come here sooner and saved him? Oh yeah, I know that, Layton. I'm sure like 5 people did. And they actually, I remember when THQ, or when Nordic, back then when they were just Nordic Games, when they bought Joe Wood, they finally released Arcania on like PS4 or something. Like, why? Well, that's the thing. Prototypes is acting like they're developing on consoles simultaneously. But it's clear that they don't understand like the architecture at all. They struggle immensely to make a game that does not just fall apart.
Somebody wants to know.
Some of those.
That's nothing new.
Doesn't have another shrink monster.
That's nothing new. The path of virtue is long, rocky. So it says in the scriptures.
Yeah, you really don't. Some indie games come out as exclusives, but...
You don't have to ask me that.
Why am I here? I need to go talk to
The path of virtue is
Hyrokar.
long, rocky. Nobody ever asks me.
Beat it! Beat it! Beat it!
I'm staying out.
Beat
of
it!
I never would have thought.
Good news.
Good news.
I'm staying out of it.
Ooh, can I do a damn difficult on him?
So it says in the scriptures.
Is that
Dismiss. That will never change.
Yoink! Damn. Loaded old man.
Watch out who you tell that to. Been there, done that.
I talked?
What did they say?
They kept.
We're gonna change that.
You know, speed with us.
That the kid. The bait, but
Dis-
stood for.
You should have known better.
Took, what, Arcania off the market?
I eat that.
Can I-
Be
Should have known better.
That's interesting. Wonder why they would even bother. I feel like it wouldn't cost them much just to keep hosting it. Helix 2, I expect a rather average sci-fi RPG. But what I'm wondering is, are they just going to use the same location, or is it going to be like a new part of the world? I feel like they're going to try and shortcut it by using the same area.
Things I could tell you.
My nickname
Nobody
is,
ever asks.
way back in the day,
That's no secret.
a friend of mine and I were
I
like
always ask
making
you the
up
name of
concepts for like
used to
story-based
say that
mods for Oblivion back when it came out, and we never actually
You don't have to
were
ask
smart
me
enough
that.
to actually make any mods, but our concepts were pretty awesome.
Tell me that
And I
isn't
basically
true.
invented a character named Vadrius Morganon.
That's totally
I thought it
obvious.
was such a badass name that I just started using it as my moniker on like
deals out
YouTube
fair
and
punishment.
MySpace,
Could have told
all
you
that shit back in the
before.
day.
You don't have to tell
So
me.
it's not a very interesting story, no.
That only
You
causes
pirates-
more trouble. Only in us.
Yoink,
decides
sir.
what's right or wrong.
09 was when I
You ever
made...
asked me?
I think that was when I made my Steam account. It was 2009, so I just tacked an 09 on the end of it.
The path of virtue is long, rocky. As if I don't have enough problems. I should have known better.
Alright, let's go speak with Lardass.
Been all kinds of rumors.
I mean Zardass. Oh god! Lester, you fool!
Another.
Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm master of combater now. Whoops.
One less monster around.
I smacked old Lystro.
Where's Zardas?
He's gone.
Where he did? And
No, I think.
You-
My headache.
Lester is the Sleeper Reborn. Theory confirmed. Yeah, I mean, it's still just I invented a name for something. Story behind it isn't that badass. At least it's not a case where, like, some people just, they get their name from, like, another fictional character. And then it kind of becomes more synonymous with their identity than the original. Yeah, Lester is no longer of this world. He's left his physical form behind, and all he leaves is an artifact of light that still appears to us lowly humans as his corporeal form. Ow! Backing up. Best part about bows is you don't need to actually have a target to hit them. Got to point it through the doorway. Ah, crap. No, he's too high. I can't hit. Look at this flappy bitch. Whoa! Easy, dork. Alright, fuck you then. Sword, please. Like that. Spin to win. No, I'm not doing anything tomorrow, P-Tac. I gotta help some siblings move in exchange for beer and pizza. I still think it's a very iconic one, though, Val. I mean, I thought, like, it was something you stole from a character, and you came up with it yourself. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Well, they're much better when you're, like, in Masters, when you're in Master Skill, because they're way faster. So, like, anytime an enemy gets near you, they're just getting the smack. The, normal attacks are better for closing gaps, and at slower speeds, you kind of need that. That's pretty cool, Caprice. Oh. Alright, so we don't have to come back here just to deal with fire car stupid shit. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. 46% chance of extra damage. The name comes from Settlers of Catan. Interesting. I actually would have thought that it was just straight up from Gothic, and I have a feeling that you're trolling us, and it actually is. Yeah, Malfool. Thanks for being, like, the one person to endure my nonsense last night. That's kind of like, speaking of, anybody know what's up with Fingers? He was, like, here every day, and now I haven't seen him in months. I'm a little worried about him. But he also said, like, everyone assumed his username came from Fingers from the first Gothic. But he said that had nothing to do with it. Yeah, Witcher 3 happened last night. It was horrible. It was bad. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I hope he's alright. I mean, he was always around, now he's never around. The sudden change, usually not a good sign. So I'm a little worried. You know, P-Tech, it's been like months. It's been like 1 or 2 months since I've seen him. Why am I not finding any eggs? I hope the eggs didn't, like, glitch out and never spawned in. Well, if you really want to know, Val, just ask my neighbors, because I'm sure they fucking heard it. I know there are at least a couple caves that didn't have dragon eggs in them. Hopefully those were the 2. This makes me nervous. How the hell is that giant rat still? Oh yeah, that's the one the wolf chased off in the beginning. He's still here and he's still wounded. It was bad. It was real bad. Like, everyone who watches my stuff knows I get angry. The fact that I was that embarrassed by my behavior last night means it was real bad. Okay, so he's online a week ago. Hopefully then he's alright. Maybe he might have gotten like a new job and just can't come to my screen times anymore. I didn't want anyone to see it though, Balkan. Like, it was that... I just felt so bad about it. It seemed wrong. Not just my behavior, but just... I felt like the game didn't justify how mad I was getting at it. I just want to... If I'm going to try it again, from scratch without the mod. I don't want those VODs kind of lingering over my head. It wasn't worth seeing, trust me. I mean, just imagine the biggest, like, man baby just screaming about video games. But somehow worse than fucking, what's his name? Darkside Phil. Yeah, this did not go well. I expected more lightning blast. I did not get lightning blast. Cha-cha-cha! Cha-cha-cha-cha-cha! I never watched Wings of Redemption. Any of his shit. I don't know what he's like. Again, I got rid of him because all I was doing was getting mad. It wasn't really about the game anymore, and that just wasn't... I didn't feel like it was right to keep those up. I mean, kind of, I guess. Sort of. Yeah, don't blame me, Melville. There's a dragon egg, for Christ's sake. God, it's about time. Alright, well, at least your camp is now safe for you. Yeah, I mean, literally, I deleted the VOD from last night as soon as I was done streaming. I couldn't even, like, think of it existing without getting stressed out. It was just bad. It was real bad. It did when I was fighting the stupid werewolf. So I had to fight him like a dozen times. I don't play any MMOs, actually. I've enjoyed some in the past, but the problem is, since I never have anyone to, like, play them with, I feel like I'm missing out on a big part of the experience. So, like, I played WoW quite a bit. UO was my favorite MMO, like, way back in the day, and I even started playing that again when I was in college. But yeah, MMOs, if I had, like, people to hang out with, it would be more fun. Just not something that... The quest structure is just too boring to do alone. It's kind of like how I can't really play, like, Monster Hunter by myself. Oh, yeah, all these idiots are still here.
Leave me alone.
Forget it. I'm not going back to jail.
Alright, so nobody enters these caves. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're massively grindy. If you had people to play it with, at least you could breeze through a lot of, like, repeat dungeon raids and shit like that. And just keep, like, grinding for the good shit. No, I wouldn't say that at all, or Baron. They're very, kind of, like, almost MMO similar, but... No, they're just... They're Capcom style of action RPG, so... I never played Lineage. I know some people are very passionate about it, but... I don't know, I just never tried it out. You know, it was another MMO I tried to get into, and just... Again, like, lost my shit with it. Thankfully, I never streamed it, I don't think, but Wizardry Online. And that ended up just getting... Like, they don't support the servers anymore. Yeah, someone made it, like, an MMO for the colony. And I know a lot of people really enjoyed it, I just didn't really... It didn't seem like there was much to do in it. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I don't know. Kind of like Battle Royale back in the day. Alright, P-Tech, have a good one. And see you next week.